Hello everyone out there, Night Guy here. Wanted to take a quick second to show you off my collection. Do a little different upload than I normally do. I haven't uploaded in a while. I've been busy working on my apartment. Finally, and I was finally able to get all my figures out and set up. So this video, and this shelf primarily that I'm showing off first here, is all dedicated to a good friend of mine that passed away a little while ago, my good friend Ron, also known as Vegaone85. He was a big fan of Iron Man and a big fan of collecting figures in general. So this one's for you, Ron. He was one of my main motivations to start this channel. Night Guy actually started as a supporting character with him on some of our figure reviews. He had his own channel. He'd upload and review figures. And we'd been good friends since I was about 11 years old. So collecting figures and looking at figures and customizing, modifying figures was one of our favorite things to do for a very long time, since we were very young. And he carried that into adulthood, kind of got me back into the hobby. And it was something we got to share for a few years before he lost his battle to cancer. And so here are some of my favorite figures, some of his favorite figures from my collection. And I wanted to share it with you guys today. Show it off, you know. I don't know if you're a big fan of Spawn or McFarlane comics, but I'm a huge fan. And Marvel, DC as well. Comics, video games, etc., movies. Honestly, if it wasn't for some of these figures, I may have never even got into medieval weapons and armor. And now we're continuing with my Superman collection. See back there's a few. Ultraman. And then Cyborg Superman is definitely one of my favorites. Such an interesting concept. I love that steel figure. And we're going to go over to the right shelf here. Some of my favorite Star Wars figures. And some of these figures, there's a few knockoffs weaved in and out. I don't know if you can tell. That Anakin in the middle there is definitely a knockoff. Here's the Black Series. Got his little secondary head back there. And then here is a knockoff of the Black Series that I tried to hide under the cloak so you can't really notice the flaws. Go down to my next shelf here, another section that was one of Ron's personal favorites. My Dragon Ball Z section. Tried to set up a little Saiyan army here of all of our figures and custom-made figures with that lovely Saiyan gear on. It took me a while to finally dust them off and put them all together, but here they are. Then we go over to the left here to the bad guys. I even recently picked up some figures, some of the new line of Dragon Ball Z figures. I believe they're made by the same people that do the Marvel Legends. There goes a Fig Arts Goku Black. But, you know, I have some of the figures from when I was a kid, mixed in with some of those new figures. This gold Frieza here is from one of my favorite lines, the Dragon Ball Evolve collection. They're more articulated but smaller scaled, so they fit in with a lot of the old ones. And we go back, and then we go down here to another section that I put together. If you can't tell, I'm a big fan of Spawn. I have a lot of Spawns in there. There goes my Kratos God of War. That was a personal gift from Ron back a few Christmases ago. Thanks again, Ron. Wish you were here to check this out with me. I think he would absolutely love my setup. There goes my Thors and Thor's family. I have a few Jane Fosters. Recently, Angela over here with the orange hair had joined the crew and has been discovered to be the long-lost sister of Thor. And then we go down here to finish off my Dragon Ball Z collection that I have there. My lovely wife recently picked me up that Beerus. There we go. Mainly the good guys. Into my wide collection of Gokus. Even in the back, I kept in the packaging, oddly enough, the cheapest figure. This was actually the first figure I ever got, if you can see in the back packaging there. That is a knockoff Dragon Ball Z figure. A mold of 2 Gokus. That was actually the first figure I ever got as a kid, back when I lived in New York. And I recently found it again online, so I just had to have it. You know, love that nostalgia. And this isn't really a figure, but this is some of my favorite boxes. I tried to keep just about all the boxes of these figures, but these are some of my favorites to display. My Terminators, Terminator vs. RoboCop, and some of my knockoff Transformer boxes. You see there, deformation robots, not Transformers. But those are definitely Transformers. There's 2 Megatrons and an Optimus. And then I have some more of my figures here. Mainly my Hulk collection. Or I just call it my big guy collection. These are kind of all the big guys. And then here I have my first ever Build-A-Figure that I put together completely by chance. This is a custom-made Mr. Hyde. And I just put them together because of all the figures I got. I happened to get the pieces of a Build-A-Figure to make a Build-A-Figure, even though they definitely didn't match. I don't remember who the arms are from. I think they're from a big Lobo. The chest is not the Hulk. It's another character that's like the Hulk. I think it's Maestro or something. The big version of the Hulk that's kind of old, long hair. There goes Mr. Hyde. The cape. I can't remember who the cape is from. That right leg is of Sauron. Left leg is from the Green Goblin. I actually had the epoxy the left leg on to fit. Anyways, we go down here. This is some of my favorite DBZ packaging that I kept. You can see these little overpower cards. I actually got these from Ron. As he was, diagnosed with his stage 4 cancer. Throughout most of his body, he left me a lot of his favorite possessions in this life, and these cards are definitely some of those. You can see he has a few packs here. He kept them since he was a kid. These came out in the 90s, and he never opened them. And even though I'm really tempted to open them, I just can't bring myself to do so. Maybe one day, maybe I'll just give them to my son. There's a little DBZ calendar that I got from him also. See, in 2021, that's when he passed away. So it's going to stay like that. Anyways, go down here to some of my favorite boxes. I think he would absolutely love that. Again, this is Vegaone85. That was his channel. Some of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I haven't played in a while, but occasionally I play with my son. He really enjoys the game. That's my big Funko Pop dragon box. Speaking of that Eternal Dragon, there he is. And in front is an Eternal Dragon that Ron had picked up himself with a bunch of Dragon Balls. He even got some of these little ones in here. You can see those. There's some of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh figures and collectibles. I even went ahead and picked up some of the figures. We scroll down here to another section that Ron would have absolutely loved. He's a big fan of Wolverine and the X-Men. And then one of my favorite sections down here. There goes the Darkness in the front there. With a few Witchblade characters. We have Carnage in the back. Anti-Venom in the back. Standard Big Venom in the back. And then a few more Carnages and Venoms up front, along with Symbiote Spider-Man. I'm going to go down here. Kind of my little Samurai Ninja section. Or, Silent Assassins, I would say. I kind of just put Spider-Man in there because I really didn't know where to put him. But he's also good at sneaking up on people, so I figure it works. In the front here, I have my collection of Azraels. And this figure, I cannot remember his name. When I got him, I bought him loose. I thought he was the Phantasm, but then I later learned that he's not. I do not remember for the life of me his name at the moment, so forgive me on that one. And we go down here to some of my favorite mercenary assassins, gunslingers from Marvel. I have Agent Anti-Venom in there in the front there, Anti-Venom. My Deathstrokes from the Arkham Asylum video game, Arkham games, as well as the DC TV verse. In the back you have Wade Wilson. In the front you have another Wade Wilson. Another little knockoff in the front there. Actually, I think they're both knockoffs. The one in the back there is Marvel Legends knockoff, and this one looks like it's more from the movie verse. But I customized all these figures, giving them extra guns. That's my favorite Cable there. You can kind of even see Blade in the background there. Should move that one over a little bit more so you can see him. Now, eventually, I am going to start up a figure channel as well. There goes Sarah Connor, Solid Snake, Raiden, Meryl, Winter Soldier, and Cap in the front there with my Thomas Jane Punisher. And then we're going to go over here to the last row of my figure collection, starting at the bottom with some of my Lord of the Rings figures and Game of Thrones figures. I even have Marvel's Black Knight. I put him there with Kit Harington because Jon Snow, played by Kit Harington, because Kit Harington will be playing Black Knight in the new Marvel movie coming up. We have Guts from Sword of the Berserk, one of my all-time favorite video games and all-time favorite swordsmen. And here is the Hound and Brienne of Tarth, and of course, lovely Arya Stark. And we're going to go up to my Bat family. That's what I call this section. Oh, it looks like my Batman Beyond had fallen. Let's see if I can get him up without knocking all these things down. It's one of the most tedious processes of figures is, trying to keep them posed, because when you knock them down, sometimes you create a domino effect and you knock all of them down, and it's such a process to put them back together. But there's my Bat family. I definitely really like the Red Hood. Looks like he's falling backwards. And he dropped one of the Batarangs. I'll put that back later. Up here to some of my favorite bad guys. You can see Dr. Doom in the background there. He's one of my favorites. I have two Thanoses and a Darkseid. My boy Shao Kahn chilling in the front there. And go around to the side here. Got a little more for you. Have my Doomsday Superman with one of the Starro implants on him. And then in front of him is Elseworld Superman. That's Superman that was teamed up with Darkseid. We have a piece of the Starro the Conqueror Build-A-Figure. Excuse me. Still getting over a little cold there. That's why I haven't been able to really upload. But in the front here, leading the charge, right there is my favorite Elseworld Superman. He was under brief amnesia and was working for Darkseid for a little while, conquering planets. Then in the back is another cyborg Superman. Can't really see it, but on his hand there, he has some lantern rings. Looks like he's conquered a few yellow lanterns. And there goes my customized Darkseid. You can kind of see there. I tried to give him an Infinity Gauntlet. And then the Cosmic Ghost Rider here in the front. One of my favorites. Punisher Ghost Rider, that is. We go up here. These are actually knockoffs as well. But this was such an incredible job that they did of recreating these Justice League figures. Except for the Shazam. The Shazam is not a knockoff. I just added them in. But the other figures are. And last but not least, my last few Star Wars figures. And that rounds up my collection. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys like collecting figures. Alright, thank you for watching. Very shortly I will be trying to upload and start a new channel doing some of my figure reviews. Mainly starting with all these. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching.